What's up, Oblivion fans? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most important decisions you'll make in Oblivion Remastered: choosing your race. Unlike Skyrim, your racial choice in Oblivion has massive gameplay implications that will impact your entire playthrough. From unique powers and resistances to attribute bonuses and skill advantages, picking the right race can make the difference between struggling through Oblivion gates and dominating them with ease. In this comprehensive tier list, I'll be ranking every race from S tier to F tier, explaining exactly why they deserve their placement, and helping you choose the perfect race for your playstyle. Whether you're a veteran returning to Cyrodiil or experiencing this classic for the first time with the remaster, this guide will ensure you start your adventure on the right foot. Let's jump in and break down the ultimate Oblivion Remastered race tier list. The Breton stands as the undisputed king of Oblivion Remastered's racial hierarchy, earning its S-tier status through unparalleled magical defenses and versatility. What elevates the Breton above all others is its permanent 50% resistance to all forms of magic, a benefit that proves invaluable throughout the entirety of the game, especially during the main quest's frequent encounters with spell-slinging Daedra. This innate resistance allows Bretons to withstand magical assaults that would devastate other races, providing a substantial defensive advantage in countless scenarios. Complementing this resistance is a plus 50 Magicka bonus that dramatically expands their spellcasting potential from the moment they step into Cyrodiil. Their skill distribution further enhances their magical prowess, with significant bonuses to Conjuration, Mysticism, and Restoration, effectively establishing them as the premier choice for any magic-focused build. While they begin with relatively low physical attributes, their magical capabilities more than compensate for these shortcomings. For players seeking to harness the arcane arts while maintaining robust defenses against Oblivion's most dangerous enemies, the Breton represents the optimal choice. The Orc secures its position in the S tier through raw combat effectiveness and unmatched physical resilience. What distinguishes Orcs from other warrior-oriented races is their exceptional racial power, Berserk, which allows them to deal double damage while taking half damage for 60 seconds once per day. This ability can completely transform challenging encounters, turning potential defeats into decisive victories. In terms of attributes, Orcs begin with impressive endurance and strength, providing them with superior health, carrying capacity, and physical damage output from the very beginning. Their skill distribution heavily favors direct combat, with significant bonuses to heavy armor and block, enabling them to withstand tremendous punishment while maintaining offensive pressure. While Orcs suffer from a lower personality attribute, making them less effective in social interactions, this drawback becomes increasingly irrelevant as the game progresses and combat challenges intensify. For players who prefer a straightforward, aggressive approach to Oblivion's challenges, the Orc offers unparalleled durability and damage potential that remains relevant throughout the entire game. The Argonian earns its A-tier placement through exceptional survivability and exploration capabilities that remain valuable throughout the entire game. What sets Argonians apart is their comprehensive immunity to poison, as 100% resistance and strong resistance to disease, namely 75%, eliminating the need for curative potions or spells when venturing into the most hazardous environments. Their unique ability to breathe underwater indefinitely grants access to submerged locations and escape routes unavailable to other races, opening up tactical advantages and hidden treasures. In Oblivion Remastered, Argonians receive impressive skill bonuses to athletics and security, making them naturally adept at mobility and lockpicking, core components of any exploration-focused playthrough. Their attribute distribution favors agility and speed, both 50 for the Arnesia origin, making them naturally agile and quick. While they lack the raw combat power of Orcs or the magical defenses of Bretons, their unique combination of resistances, underwater breathing, and stealth-oriented skills makes them exceptionally well-suited for players who prioritize exploration, survival, and non-direct combat approaches. The Redguard secures its A-tier status through an excellent combination of combat prowess and physical resilience. What distinguishes Redguards is their powerful daily ability, Adrenaline Rush, which provides substantial temporary boosts to strength, endurance, agility, and speed for 60 seconds. This ability can dramatically turn the tide of difficult encounters, allowing Redguards to overcome challenges that would overwhelm other races. Their natural resistances to poison and disease, both for 75%, ensure they remain healthy during extended dungeon delves and exploration. In Oblivion Remastered, Redguards receive significant skill bonuses to Blade and Athletics, making them exceptionally effective with the game's most common and versatile weapon type while maintaining superior mobility. Their attribute distribution heavily favors physical combat, with high strength and endurance scores that provide excellent health and damage output from the beginning. While they lack the magical capabilities of races like Bretons or High Elves, their combination of offensive power, defensive capabilities, and useful resistances makes them excellent all-around combatants suited for players who prefer a direct, aggressive approach to Oblivion's challenges. The Dark Elf earns its A-tier ranking through unparalleled versatility and well-rounded capabilities that accommodate virtually any playstyle. What elevates Dark Elves above many other races is their excellent 75% resistance to fire damage, which proves invaluable during the numerous Oblivion Gate quests where Daedric enemies frequently employ fire-based attacks. Their unique Ancestor Guardian power summons a ghost ally for 60 seconds once per day, providing tactical advantages in challenging encounters. In Oblivion Remastered, Dark Elf receives substantial skill bonuses across multiple categories, with plus 15 to both Blade and Destruction, making them naturally proficient in both physical and magical combat. Their attribute distribution is remarkably balanced, with good scores in Strength, Intelligence, Agility, and Speed, allowing them to transition seamlessly between different approaches to gameplay challenges. This makes Dark Elves the premier choice for hybrid builds that combine magic with melee combat, or for players who wish to experiment with different playstyles without creating new characters. While they lack the specialized strengths of other races, their exceptional versatility and lack of significant weaknesses establishes them as one of the most consistently effective choices for both newcomers and veterans. The Nord secures its B-tier position through specialized combat effectiveness and environmental resistances that shine in specific scenarios. What distinguishes Nords is their impressive 50% resistance to frost damage, which proves particularly valuable in the northern regions of Cyrodiil and in dungeons featuring frost-based traps or enemies. Their unique racial power, frost damage, allows them to deal frost damage once per day, providing an additional combat option against fire-resistant opponents. In Oblivion Remastered, Nords receive substantial bonuses to physical combat skills, with significant boosts to Blade and Blunt, establishing them as naturally proficient wielders of almost any melee weapon. Their attribute distribution heavily favors strength and endurance, granting them excellent health and physical damage output. However, their lower intelligence and willpower scores make them less effective with magic, and their frost resistance is less universally useful than other racial resistances. For players who favor straightforward, physically imposing characters who excel in cold environments, the Nord represents a solid, if somewhat specialized, choice. The Khajiit earns its B-tier ranking through exceptional stealth capabilities and unique combat advantages that support specialized playstyles. What sets Khajiits apart is their natural night vision ability, Eye of Night, which allows them to see clearly in darkness without requiring torches or light spells that might alert enemies. Their unique racial power, Eye of Fear, causes targets to flee for 30 seconds, providing a valuable escape mechanism when stealth fails. In Oblivion Remastered, Khajiits receive substantial skill bonuses to Acrobatics, Athletics, and Security, making them naturally adept at mobility, lockpicking, and accessing difficult-to-reach areas. Their attribute distribution heavily favors agility, granting them superior accuracy with weapons and increased effectiveness when sneaking. However, their lower endurance and willpower scores make them more vulnerable in direct combat situations. For players who prefer sneaking, stealing, and striking from the shadows, the Khajiit offers specialized tools and abilities that support their natural inclination towards stealth-based gameplay, though they lack the versatility and resilience of higher-tier races. The Wood Elf secures its B-tier status through specialized archery proficiency and nature-based abilities that excel in specific scenarios. What distinguishes Wood Elf is their command creature ability, which allows them to control animals up to level 5 for 60 seconds once per day, providing tactical advantages in wilderness encounters. Their natural resistance to disease, namely 75%, ensures they remain healthy during extended exploration. In Oblivion Remastered, Wood Elves receive substantial skill bonuses to Marksman, light armor, and acrobatics, establishing them as the premier archers in the game while maintaining excellent mobility. Their attribute distribution favors agility and speed, granting them superior accuracy with ranged weapons and increased effectiveness when evading enemies. Additionally, Wood Elves are the fastest race in the game due to their shorter height, allowing them to cover ground more quickly than other races. However, their lower strength and endurance scores make them vulnerable in direct combat, and their specialized skills become less impactful in certain environments like Oblivion realms where fewer animals exist to command. For players who prefer ranged combat and wilderness exploration, the Wood Elf represents a solid choice with unique advantages in natural settings. The High Elf occupies the C tier due to a combination of exceptional magical power counterbalanced by significant vulnerabilities. What elevates High Elf is their unmatched plus 100 Magicka bonus, which provides them with the largest spell reserves of any race from the very beginning of the game. Their naturally high intelligence further enhances their magical capabilities, allowing them to cast more spells and more powerful spells than any other race. In Oblivion Remastered, High Elves receive substantial skill bonuses to Destruction, Alteration, and Illusion, establishing them as formidable practitioners of offensive and utility magic. However, these magical advantages come at a severe cost. High Elves suffer from 50% weakness to fire, frost, and shock damage, making them extraordinarily vulnerable to elemental attacks from enemies and environmental hazards. These weaknesses are particularly problematic during the main quest's frequent Oblivion Gate encounters, where Daedric enemies routinely employ destructive magic. Additionally, their lower endurance scores result in reduced health, further compromising their survivability. For experienced players who understand how to mitigate these weaknesses and leverage their magical superiority, High Elves can be effective, but their significant vulnerabilities generally outweigh their specialized strengths for most playstyles. The Imperial finds itself in the F tier due to a lack of distinctive advantages and specialized capabilities compared to other races. What defines Imperials is their Voice of the Emperor power, which calms humanoid enemies up to level 25 for 30 seconds once per day. While occasionally useful for de-escalating combat or creating escape opportunities, this ability becomes increasingly irrelevant as the game progresses and enemies outscale its level cap. In Oblivion Remastered, Imperials receive modest skill bonuses to Mercantile and Speechcraft, establishing them as slightly more effective in social interactions and commerce. Their attribute distribution is remarkably average, with most scores ranging between 40 and 50 and no outstanding strengths or weaknesses. This lack of specialization leaves Imperials without the distinctive advantages that define other races. They lack the magical resistance of Bretons, the combat prowess of Redguards, the stealth capabilities of Khajiit, or the survivability of Argonians. While their balanced nature might seem appealing, especially for new players uncertain about their preferred playstyle, this balance translates to mediocrity rather than versatility. For role-playing purposes, particularly for characters deeply embedded in Cyrodiil's Imperial culture and politics, the Imperial can provide thematic satisfaction, but from a purely mechanical perspective, every other race offers more impactful advantages for specific playstyles. And there you have it, the definitive race tier list Oblivion Remastered. As you can see, Bretons and Orcs dominate the S tier with their incredible magic resistance and combat prowess, while the jack-of-all-trades Imperial unfortunately falls behind due to lack of specialization. Remember though, Oblivion is ultimately an RPG, and sometimes the most satisfying character isn't necessarily the most powerful one. If you have a strong character concept or role-playing idea, don't be afraid to pick a lower-tier race. You can always compensate through clever gameplay, custom class creation, and birth sign selection. If you found this tier list helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more Oblivion Remastered content. I'm planning guides on the best custom classes, essential mods, and dungeon deep dives in the coming weeks. Drop a comment below letting me know which race you're playing as and why. I love hearing about your character builds. Until next time, stay away from those adoring fans, and I'll see you in the next video.